The family of the jailed founder of the far-right Oath Keepers group just dropped a major bombshell on him, and you'll want to stick around for all of the details because this story is super crazy. But first, let's get a little bit of backstory on this jailed pro-Trumper because this is honestly mind-blowing.
The founder of the Oath Keepers militia group is headed to prison for more than 18 years. That is the most of any January 6 defendant so far. Stewart Rhodes is his name. He was convicted of seditious conspiracy and other charges, and he told the judge when given the opportunity to speak yesterday, quote, "My only crime is opposing those who are destroying our country," close quote. Scott McFarland is at the district courthouse in Washington with the response from the judge in this case, who noted that Rhodes showed no remorse and is, in his opinion, an ongoing threat to the fabric of the country. Scott, good morning.
Yeah, Tony, the judge called Rhodes a threat to democracy, and then in a moment that seemed to freeze and silence the courtroom, he said there's fear of violence after the next election.
More than 1,000 people have been charged for the Capitol insurrection. But former military service member, Yale Law School grad, and founder of the far-right Oath Keepers, Stewart Rhodes, has now been handed the toughest sentence to date. He was convicted at trial of conspiring to block the peaceful transfer of power through force and of planning in advance. Prosecutors cited these remarks from 2020.
"We have men already stationed outside D.C. as a nuclear option. In case they attempt to remove the president illegally, we will step in and stop it. The fight's coming."
Rhodes will remain behind bars until nearly 2040 after the judge allowed a sentencing enhancement for terrorism.
It's not only the longest sentence by a good amount, but it was backed up by the court saying, "You, sir, present a threat to the fabric of democracy."
Prosecutors argued Rhodes and his co-conspirators raised money, readied military gear, even staged guns nearby in Virginia in case then-President Trump invoked the Insurrection Act, which Rhodes urged in an open letter to Trump before January 6th. Rhodes was unapologetic in court, calling himself a political prisoner and saying the Oath Keepers were quiet professionals unfairly targeted for supporting Donald Trump. His defense attorneys say Rhodes will appeal.
There's no way that he was the leader or the director of what happened on January 6th. He was just a convenient target.
But federal judge Amit Mehta made his view clear, calling Rhodes a danger to U.S. democracy, and added, "We all now hold our collective breaths with an election approaching. Will we have another January 6th? That remains to be seen."
The same judge yesterday sentenced Rhodes' co-defendant, Florida Oath Keepers leader Kelly Meggs, to 12 years in prison, which lays down a marker as Proud Boys face sentencing for seditious conspiracy in late August. Nate?
You're right, Scott. Seems like a message is being delivered with these sentences handed down. Thank you.
So yeah, this guy is absolutely nuts. He was jailed for 18 years because he posed a serious threat to the people around him. And thank goodness he got caught, because it seems like he was just a ticking time bomb waiting to happen. And we have even more evidence to support that, because his family just dropped a major bombshell on him. So let's take a look at that new report. So this comes from Raw Story. Jailed insurrectionist's family fears Trump pardon. I've got to keep him in jail. And look at that. He looks exactly as you would expect a MAGA to look. The ex-wife and son of imprisoned Oath Keepers leader Stewart Rhodes are ardent supporters of Kamala Harris, but their concerns about a second Donald Trump presidency are more deeply personal than most voters. The right-wing militant is serving a sentence for seditious conspiracy obstruction of an official proceeding and tampering with documents and proceedings for his role in the January 6th insurrection, and his family fears Donald Trump could put their lives in danger with a pardon, reported USA Today. He is somebody that had a kill list. Always, said his ex-wife Tasha Adams, and obviously now I'm on that list, and so are some of my kids, I'm sure. I've got to keep him in jail. I have to keep him in jail, and I can't fail, because I'm in a whole mess of trouble if I fail. That is some insane pressure. Rhodes' family finally felt a sense of relief after 2 decades of alleged abuse and manipulation when he was sentenced to more than 18 years in prison, and son Dakota Adams shares his mother's concerns and her last name after changing it in defiance of his militant father. If Stewart ever gets out of prison, the first 3 people he's going to try to kill are my mom, Nancy Pelosi, and one of my sisters for testifying against him in custody hearings, Dakota Rhodes said. That's going to be his immediate priority kill list after a couple weeks of binge partying. Rhodes denied that he posed any threat to his family in a statement through his attorney, Ed Tarpley, saying that their claims were libelous and defamatory. but former Oath Keepers spokesman Jason van Tatenhove said that the former militant leader discussed creating a deck of cards featuring individuals he believed had betrayed him or the country, similar to Most Wanted cards developed by the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency during the Iraq War. It was based on the trading card pack that the U.S. military put together of the most wanted people to bring in dead or alive, Van Tatenhove said. He wanted to do something very much like that. He holds grievances very tight. If that's what your former spokesperson has said, then yeah, I'm not gonna believe you when you say that you don't pose a threat to your family. But overall, if there's someone who has a kill list and the people around them are saying that this person is dangerous, then they should probably never be allowed out of prison unless there has been some serious reform that has happened. And the fact that this guy might get pardoned is just beyond scary, not only for this family, but also for the country, because who's to say that he'll stop at just his kill list? When he gets out, whether that's through a pardon or naturally in 18 years, the police need to keep an eye on him because he's not someone who should be walking around freely in this country.